So I'm back home from Gibraltar. It was absolutely amazing time. I will talk about the other days that I had because I didn't talk much during the video, so I apologise for that. I know I did talk once on the first day. But yeah, I was just enjoying my time with John, so I didn't want to do many speaking videos, but hopefully next time I go away, when I go away in March, it might be on my own and I'll have more time to do this sort of thing. So on day two, to say the water, because we stayed on the Spanish side, it was awful. And if you did leave it for long, it did look like it was going like a greeny colour. We had a bidet in the bathroom. There was no lock on the toilet. The Wi-Fi was not the best, so when I was uploading the videos, I was using data. That's why the video for part 3 wasn't done straight away. I just thought, do it when I'm back at home, because I thought get 2 parts out of the way and then just do the rest when I'm back at home. The curtain was leaking, so basically you pulled it over one side and it just kept leaking on the left side when you had the water on. We had a very small pillow. They did give us another pillow, but sometimes you might have to fold it in half and then create a double pillow, but I just used 2 ones. We managed to walk on the runway as well. That was an experience. And then of course if planes were coming in, they would close it and give alerts. There was the Victoria Stadium where they played the football. It's said to have a good football team, Gibraltar. We watched some practice as well. They have the sewage literally close to the stadium. Like when you're walking past, you can smell it every time. There's the World Trade Center. The pedestrian crossings looked British. You got the man, green and red, and then there's a timer that goes on. So that but of course it is a UK territory, overseas territory. So of course there's going to be a lot of stuff that is British. The bus stop, the table looked like it was from London. I saw a Commonwealth flag, and of course the Gibraltar flag as well. Went to Trafalgar Cemetery. We went through the tunnel when we did our because we did a tour that day. We had to go through the tunnel part because cars used to be able to drive on the runway, but now they've moved it so that they go through a tunnel and then out. So they were driving on the right side of the road. It is just to make it easier, I guess, because you're going from UK to Spain, and if all of a sudden you're driving on the left in Gibraltar and then you drive on the right in Spain, it's just a bit so they just stick with right. The driver was very, very good. He was giving all sorts of facts, and I think he was a Gibraltar resident as well. And he was saying on his passport, of course it says UK and Northern Ireland, and then a little bit at the bottom it says Gibraltar. I think he was saying 34,000 people the population is of Gibraltar, 15,000 come to work, about 7 million people visit, and then they were talking about a wall or something that they started I think in 1540 and then finished building it in 1552 or something. In the morning we went to Lord Nelson Bar, had some breakfast. I had eggs on toast. I had my eggs poached. The bread, it was standard bread, but the eggs were nice. But the bread, I know they didn't have sourdough, but it just looked like an egg had been put on toast. It wasn't much effort really. And then John had a half a breakfast, but he didn't have the black pudding and mushrooms because he doesn't like them, but I had them. Went to Casemate Square, saw a shopping centre, didn't go in, but we did on another day. This tour, it was £42 for one person, roughly took 2 hours. So it was the nature reserve. We went to see the Pillars of Hercules, St Michael's Cave where there was wild monkeys. In 2021 they installed a light show, and it was converted into a hospital during World War II. Saw O'Hara's Battery, the Skywalk, which is a fairly new thing as well, the apes and the views, the Barbary macaques. We were told the male has no bottom but has a big head, and the female has a bottom. We saw one jump on a car. There was the cable cars, but they were out of use. They are back up in February sometime, but like as I said, you know, it's not the peak season, but in like April time it's gonna get busier. And if you do use the cable car when they can, it's like £6 or something, I think. But they just need to see if it's working all fine. That's why they've stopped it for the moment. The monkeys are scared of snakes, so the driver had like 2 snakes, and if like you had your window down, they would come in. So to get a bit of fresh air, he only did it little, and there's like a little barrier, so he was trying to come in, so he throws the snake at him, and then they jump away. Because if he didn't have the snakes near the window screen, they would be like hitting the window screen. And he said he's had like 3 different ones. 25 to 35 kilos the monkeys can weigh. There was lots of pigeons as well. There was the Apes Den, didn't see much of that. Princess Caroline's battery there was. We saw a submarine in the distance. There was a sign for like rabbits or hares and lizards. Not seen one for lizards, so that was interesting. Prince Philip's Arch, they were like eating some mangoes or something. There was like a mess everywhere. Then St Michael's Cabin, there was Moorish Castle. Yeah, I think it was March 2023 they said you can't cross the runway with a car now. It's only like special cars, but if you have like a bike or a scooter, you're able to do that. There was the Great Siege tunnels, there was lots of cannons, and it really went like in the depths. We saw like Africa in the distance. As I said, you know, there was Trafalgar Cemetery. Saw the Gibraltar Court Service and the gold cannons, but I think they were covered up due to it being a Sunday. There was Ince's Halls Theatre. There was the bank. The bins looked very British. There was red parking lines. The John McIntosh building. We saw orange trees in like the main town centre growing. Saw a place that did chimney cake. The red telephone box. After we did the tour, watched Man United and Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is John's favourite team. Of course, I like Man United. Saw that at O'Reilly's. Palace won 2-0. Then we went to Marina Bay, went to some of the shops there. And then Pizza Express we had in the evening. Had some calamari, la reine and some tiramisu. And then we had bingo in the evening. There was electronic bingo that you could do on the tablet. And then also dabbers as well. That was at Casino Admiral, I believe. They do read in Spanish and English, and it does go very quick. They played I've Got a Feeling as well before like the big games of bingo start. We ended up winning £100, so £50 each, and then I did a bit of roulette, put £20 and won an extra £30. So I'm not much of a gambler, so I was just like, I'm happy, I'm stopping, I don't want to go anymore, because if I would have lost that, then I'd have just been like, oh yeah. For one bingo that like they only did certain numbers, could get some that were free. The escalator like was not working one time. It was not working going up, but going down was, and then the down one broke, and then the up one worked again. On the roulette, like the table lights up or something as well. The toilets were very nice. I had some Gibraltar coins for a bit. I know I didn't show them, but they still had Queen Elizabeth II on, and there was like a dragon fruit tree on one of them, and then like all sorts of different birds. But of course you can't spend them here, you can only spend them in Gibraltar. But most of the time I was wanting change back in British pounds, because I was wanting it to spend here in the UK. They told us not to cross one time because there was a plane landing. The revolving door in our hotel was not working. It felt safe walking around like in the middle of the night. It was pretty good, to be honest. They closed the main passport control after like 10 or 11, but you go through where the cars go, but they still stamp you. And then when we were going to our hotel, they like locked the hotel door after a certain time. There was like a baby crying in our car during the tour, and we saw some interesting petrol station. There was like Cepsa, Petroil, and then Gib Oil. Of course, Gibraltar Oil and then Petrol Oil. But Cepsa, I've never heard of that. On day 3, when we were doing our dolphin tour, they asked us to come earlier due to like thunderstorms happening around 2, half 2. It was raining in the middle of the night as well. As I said, dolphin watching. They were still doing breakfast as well at McDonald's at 11:30. Normally, 11:30 is when they start doing the lunch in the UK, and they don't do breakfast at all then. There were some little markets that we saw near us. One store was playing We Wish You a Merry Christmas. I was like, why? Christmas song, you know? It was very windy. One of my tiles had a hole in it, I saw. And the handle, one of them, the side handles was a bit broken in the lift. There was normally no one at the desk at our hotel. We went to the Sunborn Hotel. It was a 5-star yacht hotel. It's like £300 a night or something. Seen it. There was no casino anymore. I think like 2 years ago they got rid of it. John says he's been 5 times, and he used to always go to the casino there, but they made it into something else. Went to O'Reilly's pub again for some pie and mash for lunch. The police officers, like the UK, they wear the same hat, the same uniform. There was public toilets. As we went to the shopping centre, the ICC. It was very quiet. Not many good shops, to be honest. There was some British shops there, but it was very quiet. Saw inside of the court, got the bus, and then it just like chucked it down. It was like £1.60 for a single, and it had like a headphone jack, so I think you could listen to something, I guess, while the bus was going. So I guess next time maybe I'll bring that. They were doing a crash drill, 6 till 9. They closed the runway, so I mean, if you wanted to get across like between that time, then you'd have to try and walk back to the bus station and then go round. And then it was in like this Gibraltar newspaper, which I'll show in a bit. We did a quiz at this place called The Ship. There was like pool and football showing. The toilets there had only one men and women with locks, but then technically, since they had locks on, there was other people, you know, women that were using the men's one, and then men's that were using the women's one. The dryer in the men's one like broke off, and McDonald's, if you wanted like plastic to take away to put on your cup, they were like charging an extra cent on it. An extra cent. There was like an error as well while I was there, I think, or for a bit, that when I put in the title of like my video, it removes it and then puts the date of the publish, so I had to add the title in after, but I think it's all right now when I was back. So day 4, well, this is the 4th one. Head back home. I was sat at 12A, but I let John have the window seat for a bit, but then he's seen most of the views, so he let me have it back. The original departure time was 12:10. 12:05 we ended up going. Landed at 1:50. The plane arrived very early. And then we had a seat next to us at the aisle that was free. It was 2 hours 45 minutes and 31 rows they had. And I could hear like the crew speaking from the front. Like they were, well, I don't know if they were speaking loud, but like it was very, I could hear them very well, because normally you can't hear them if you stand so far away, but I could hear them from, you know, my row. So as I said, got a national newspaper, which is this one here, and then that is talking about the crash drill that was happening. Test response to runway emergency. I also got some of these leaflet things, so I'm going to have a look through them, see if there's anything interesting to visit next time. And then this was like the dolphin card. There was like different dolphins and all that you can see. There was these, because there was the first time I was going to the casino, I got a card. These, as well as another bet and like with one of them you could use it on anything. These are like the sports machines, which I don't know much about, but I guess next time I could use them there. The trays in the airport were very small. I saw a two-way mirror in security. There was 2 lanes, but they were only using one. There's a big queue to get into Gibraltar and then in security, surprisingly. They shoved the trays like to the end, the staff, after you went through, and you had to take out your liquids and electronic devices this time. The cigarettes, very, very cheap if you go in, £25 a sleeve, and the duty free as well is cheap, like, but of course you're only allowed 200 per person. But if you were allowed more, like, you would take a lot, but it is 200 per person, so that was like really good. So I'm definitely going to go back again, even because there's other stuff that I haven't seen as well. I need to see that, like the south side, and I'd probably want to stay in the Gibraltar side next time. Saw a private jet. There was like a terrace in the terminal, so you got like the fresh air and the sun as well. There was 3 gates. They checked my small bag this time. I met someone I knew on the plane, like staff as well, and if someone's spoke another language, it showed on their badge as well what language they speak. And then I saw the captain or first officer, like it was different. They were allowed out, and the passengers were standing up as well. But like on different airlines, it's different. They have different procedures, I guess. I was asked to keep my phone and battery pack in the seat pocket and not allowed it on my lap while landing. On the passport stamps, if you were going in to a country, it's a rectangle, but if you were going out, it's like a oval shape. So I don't know the difference between that or something. And then of course there was like different numbers that they had after the date, so I don't know what that represents. There was not a big queue like in Terminal 1, like coming back in security. The travelator wasn't working. Someone accidentally tripped up, like it was like very bad, like they tripped up outside. And yeah, as I was saying, you know, the cups, these were the size of the cups, so like very wide but like very small height. They were the cups. And there was like offers, like you could get 2 wines or something for like £10.95 instead of like 13, and fragrances until tomorrow I think are like 20% off or something. Like they are cheap. They were cheap, honestly. But yeah, that is all for this video. Sorry it was a big long explanation at the end. Next trip, as I said, won't be until next month. Thinking of going to Paphos and then maybe Isle of Man in the middle of the month, who knows, like a quick break. I'll need to catch up on Love Island. Gonna hopefully watch some of that tonight, maybe get the videos out tomorrow, not sure. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the videos of my time in Gibraltar, and I'll see you in the next one.